welcome to the Just in Time podcast. I'm your host, Justin Chute, and I'm very thankful and grateful that you're all tuning in today. Before we talk about this episode where we're going to be covering the NBA free agency and 2024 NBA draft results, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it because there's been a lot of basketball news that have happened over these last few days. I was kind of waiting for the big free agents to sign before I made a video. Now that Klay Thompson and Paul George have new homes in the NBA, I feel like it's a good time to make a video we can cover to the draft real quick. And then after that, we can talk about some of the free agency stuff that's been going on. So at 1, the Hawks drafted Reese Shea. That was no surprise there. 2, the Wizards drafted Alex Sarr. Again, no surprise there. The Wizards had a fantastic draft. At 3, the Rockets drafted Reed Shepherd. Best shooter in the draft. I thought the Rockets were going to trade this pick personally. They ended up sticking and picking. That's a great addition to that young core that they got right there. At 4, the San Antonio Spurs, they drafted Stephon Castle, who I believe is the best player in this draft. Or I believe will be the best player in this draft. Only thing that he needs is to develop a consistent jumper. I believe in everything else. His high school tape is insane. I was watching specifically where his high school played Duncanville, and Duncanville is notoriously one of the best best high school basketball programs in the nation. And he was killing them over there in high school. So at UConn, in high school, Stephon Castle was more of a point guard. He could do it all. He could shoot. Goes to UConn. He's not just a point guard anymore. He's having to adjust his role. He's playing more of a 2 and a 3 over there. He'll probably come into year 1. He wants to play the point guard, but the Spurs signed Chris Paul in free agency, so maybe Stephon Castle's looking to play more of a 2 or 3 this year, and he's going to get those 1 minutes, I'm sure, but he's going to be playing more of a versatile role for the Spurs in season number 1, I believe. At 5, the Pistons drafted Ron Holland. He was projected to go number 1 overall at the beginning of the year. Has had an injury, had some shooting splits that weren't the best. Goes to Detroit at 5. I think Detroit's got something building. Hopefully they're able to, develop those guys into some shooters over there because you got a bunch of non-shooters over there. Ron Holland and the other one is Asar Thompson. So we'll see what that looks like. At 6, the Hornets drafted John Saloon. Not sure. The upside is there. But I was thinking that the Hornets needed more of a sure thing. I don't know who else. Cody Williams might have been a better pick for him at that spot. Maybe Matas Buzelis. I don't know. Interesting pick by the Hornets. At 7, the Blazers went with Donovan Clingan. One of the best big men in the draft, 7'2", 7'3". The only thing I don't like about the Blazers right now is that they have a very crowded logjam at the big man spot. You got DeAndre Ayton as your starter. You got Robert Williams coming off the bench. You got Donovan Clingan as your third. They're going to look to trade Robert Williams or Ayton at some point. At 8, the Spurs ended up drafting Rob Dillingham, but they traded it to the Minnesota Timberwolves. So if Rob Dillingham's going to Minnesota, he's going to be the backup point guard for him, probably the point guard of the future. He's going to be able to get mentored by Mike Conley, so that's a pretty good fit for him. At 9, the Memphis Grizzlies, they drafted Zach Edey. Kind of a reach, in my opinion, but they were really lacking a big man. They like what they have going forward for this upcoming season. I can't be mad at it. All right. At 10, the Utah Jazz drafted Cody Williams, and I think the Utah Jazz probably have the best draft in this entire NBA draft process. You walk out of here with top 5 talent in Cody Williams. At 10, I really like his upside. Danny Ainge knows how to draft for sure. At 11, the Chicago Bulls drafted Matas Buzelis. I love this fit for Chicago. He grew up in Chicago, so the hometown kid staying in hometown of Chicago. That's a really good fit. He's going to be an exciting player to watch for the Bulls, who definitely needed some more exciting players. At 12, the Thunder drafted Nikola Topic. After they just traded Josh Giddey to the Bulls and got Alex Caruso. They pretty much drafted Topic to be the Giddey replacement. So Topic has got an injured knee, so he's probably not even going to play his rookie year. So I like this fit. The Thunder have a lot of depth already. They have a lot of good pieces. They just pretty much their whole draft process strategy this year was boom or bust guys. Nikola Topic is definitely one of those players. At 13, the Kings drafted Devin Carter. After trading Davion Mitchell, they needed kind of a guard that could be a more defensive-oriented guy. I think Devin Carter fits the bill. At 14, the Trailblazers drafted Bub Carrington. I really couldn't figure out where his draft range was going to be. He ends up going to the Blazers at 14. This pick ended up getting traded to the Wizards. So now the Wizards have Alex Sarr and Bub Carrington. Overall, they swung for upside. I think Bub Carrington's got some very high upside. At 15, Miami Heat. The Miami Heat ended up drafting Kelly Ware out of Indiana. And I like the fit a lot. I think this makes Bam a little more versatile. It definitely gives him some big man depth. One of my favorite bigs in this draft. I think he's going to develop pretty nicely in Miami. At 16, my personal favorite player of the NBA draft process, Jared McCain, goes to the 76ers. He's going to be joining Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey over there. I think that's a pretty good fit. One of the best shooters in this draft, somewhere where I think he's got some really good upside. I think you get your backcourt of the future with Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. At 17, the Lakers draft Dalton Connect. He slipped pretty far down on the board. Very good snag by J.J. Redick and the Lakers organization on getting a great shooter to pair along with LeBron and AD. At 18, the Orlando Magic drafted Tristan da Silva. Another wing to go on to that depth they already have. At 19, the Raptors drafted Jacoby Walter. Great shooter. It's good that they're going shooting here. And I think he's got some upside as far as the shot creation ability. This is the one pick I did get right in this draft process. The Cavaliers drafted Jalen Tyson at 20. I think he's going to be a very good fit for him on the wing. At 21, the Pelicans drafted Yves Messi out of Baylor. At 22, the Suns drafted Daron Holmes, and then they traded that pick to the Nuggets. So the Nuggets have Daron Holmes. I love that fit personally. The Bucks drafted A.J. Johnson, the younger brother of Jalen Green. Interesting pick. At 24, the Knicks drafted Keyshawn George. They then traded that pick to the Wizards. So the Wizards walked out of the first round with Alex Sarr, Bub Carrington, and Keyshawn George. Really good draft process by them. At 25, the Knicks drafted Pacome Didier, and they ended up keeping him. At 26, the Wizards drafted Dylan Jones. They ended up trading Dylan Jones to the Thunder. So the Thunder now have Nikola Topic and Dylan Jones out of the first round. At 27, the Timberwolves drafted Terrence Shannon Jr. I love that fit. I think the Timberwolves had another great draft. Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon Jr. you can easily plug into your rotation. I like that a lot. At 28, the Nuggets drafted Ryan Dunn and traded him to the Suns. This is part of the Daron Holmes trade deal. So the Suns got Ryan Dunn, the best perimeter defender in the draft. A guy that will definitely be seeing some minutes for him this upcoming year. At 29, the Jazz with another home run selection. Isaiah Collier at 29. This is a guy that was getting number one picks in like December, and you got him at 29. Amazing fit. At 30, the Celtics drafted Baylor Shireman. Very good shooter for him. Into the second round we go. The Raptors drafted Jonathan Mogbo. He played a big man spot for San Francisco, but he really gives you more of those point forward vibes. We'll see how it goes later on. At 32, the Jazz drafted Kyle Filipowski out of Duke. At 33, the Bucks drafted Tyler Smith. At 34, the Blazers drafted Tyler Kolek and traded him to the Knicks. So the Knicks now Tyler Kolek, and they have Pacome Didier. At 35, the Spurs drafted Johnny Furphy, then traded Johnny Furphy to the Pacers. Then we swapped picks with the Pacers, so the Pacers drafted Juan Nunes and traded him to the Spurs. So you got Johnny Furphy to the Pacers, you got Juan Nunes to the Spurs. one of the better playmakers in this draft. We're interested in seeing how he does. I don't think he's going to be on the roster next year. I think he'll be a stash and play, or he'll be in Austin. Either way, you kind of like his playmaking upside. I'm intrigued by his potential. Same with Johnny Furphy. The Pacers just have a very deep team. I kind of like the depth that they're going for. I think Johnny Furphy was a very good get for him. At 37, the Timberwolves drafted Bobby Klintman. They traded him to the Pistons, so now the Pistons got some big man depth with Bobby Klintman and some shooting. At 38, the Knicks drafted A.J. Mitchell, who I was hoping that the Spurs would get, and they traded him to the Thunder. So now the Thunder have A.J. Mitchell as probably like their second or third point guard. That's a very good gift for them. The Thunder are probably the deepest team in the NBA right now. At 39, my apologies. At 39, the Memphis Grizzlies drafted Jalen Wells. Big wing shooter for him. At 40, the Portland Trailblazers drafted Oso Ighodaro, traded him to the Suns. So now the Suns have Oso and they have Ryan Dunn. At 41, the 76ers drafted Adam Bona, one of the probably the most energetic player in this NBA draft. You're not going to outcompete Adam Bona. Great selection by the 76ers. You got him and Jarrett McCain. At 42, the Hornets drafted KJ Simpson, one of the better scorers in this draft at the guard spot. He's going to be probably taking over the backup one, or he's going to look to, become one of those backup guards in that Charlotte Hornets rotation. The Miami Heat drafted Nikola Dursic at 43, and they traded him to the Hawks. So now the Hawks have Nikola Dursic. The Rockets drafted Pele Larson, traded him to the Heat. That's a good shooter for them out of Arizona. At 45, the Kings drafted Jamal Shead, and they traded him to the Raptors. So Jamal is headed to the Raptors. Talk about a team that kind of fits his identity and how he likes to play. They don't make a lot of mistakes in Toronto. Very defensive-oriented team. I like that a lot. At 46, the Clippers drafted Cam Christie, betting on his upside as a 3-and-D prospect. At 47, the Magic drafted Antonio Reeves, and they traded him to the Pelicans. So Antonio is going to New Orleans. Very good score they're getting out of there. Another guy that you can throw in the rotation at that guard spot. One of my favorite picks of this draft was the Spurs selecting Harrison Ingram at 48. Harrison Ingram is one of the better rebounding wings in this draft. He absolutely killed it as a physical point in college, and I think he's going to come into the NBA, be a very good player. He's going to be in the rotation, I think, for the Spurs. It wouldn't be surprising me if he's in the rotation by December. At 49, the Pacers drafted Tristan Newton out of Connecticut. At 50, the Pacers drafted Enrique Freeman. At 51, the Knicks drafted Melvin Aginsa. They traded him to the Mavericks. Warriors drafted Quentin Post. Traded to the Thunder, then to the Blazers, then back to the Warriors. That's interesting. At 53, the Pistons drafted Cam Spencer. So all the eligible Connecticut guys got drafted. That's pretty cool to see. Celtics drafted Anton Watson. The Lakers drafted Bronny James, like I anticipated. The Suns, this is one of the better value picks right here. Kevin McCullough going to the Knicks. Chomchi going to the Raptors, and then this guy going to the Knicks. All right. We can stop that share recording. Quick thoughts about this NBA draft process. It was very fun to see for the most part. I will say that this was one of the most unpredictable drafts I've seen in a long time. It was pretty cool covering it, but it's going to be a very fun year for these rookies. I'm very much looking forward to a lot of them, like Stephon Castle, Jarrett McCain. The Knicks, they got a lot of good players. But that's just part one of the puzzle. Because now we move into NBA free agency, where a lot of the fun really starts for a lot of fans. Start off free agency, the Jazz waived Yurtseven. They're bringing in Kyle Filipowski, so they didn't really need him anymore. Obi Toppin comes back to the Indiana Pacers on a 4-year, $60 million contract. So the Pacers are really bolstering that depth right there. You already signed Pascal Siakam. You got Obi Toppin, and you also have Jarris Walker, who you drafted in the first round last year. So that's a lot of good depth that you got at that spot. at the power forward position. The Los Angeles Lakers bring back Max Christie. I believe it was on a 4-year deal. So they'll have that young dude in the building for a couple more years. I think JJ Redick likes his upside. And for what Max Christie has showed you on his limited playing time, it's been pretty good. So I like the swing on his upside here. Luke Cornett returns to Boston. We're going to talk about this right here. The Clippers bring back Kevin Porter Jr. So Kevin Porter Jr. as a basketball player is a very good talent. Off the court, he's had his issues, and I don't agree with it. Not really a big fan that he's able to come back into the NBA after what he's done, but nonetheless, he's back in the NBA. Josh Primo came back to the NBA. And so I think the Clippers are kind of showing this trend of being an organization that lets players have a second chance. So, I mean, that's pretty good to see, but nonetheless, I'm not an advocate for assaults to any means. So that's what I'll leave it at that. He's back in the NBA. Mason Plumlee's going to sign with the Suns. Najee Marshall's going to the Mavericks on a 3-year, $27 million deal. This is a very good get by Dallas. I think you upgraded at the wing spot. Najee Marshall is one of the most underrated defenders. Very good 3-and-D guy for the Mavericks that they just got. Eric Gordon going to the Sixers. Jonas Valanciunas is signing a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Wizards. So now you got a veteran big man in there at the Wizards rotation. You also got Alex Sarr that you drafted at number 2. So you could kind of play Alex Sarr at the 4 or at the 5. He's versatile enough to play either or. And yeah. All right, my bad. We're back. All right. So Andre Drummond's going to the Philadelphia 76ers. He adds some big man depth to that team. Celtics are bringing back this young big man on a multi-year deal. The Miami Heat are bringing back Kevin Love. 76ers again, striking gold. They're bringing back Kelly Oubre Jr. He was really good for him last year. I think he's going to have another big year for him. Derek Jones Jr. signed with the Clippers. Just kind of surprised me. The Mavs were able to sign Najee Marshall as his replacement. So, Derek Jones Jr. will be missed, but I think Najee Marshall's a pretty good fit for him too. With the Clippers, though, you'll probably see Derek Jones Jr. with an increased role. I like that. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope leaves the Denver Nuggets and he joins the Orlando Magic. This was pretty huge. Now the Denver Nuggets, I don't see them as like this elite Western Conference team. Now they're just like everybody else, in my opinion. That West is wide open. Yeah, I think he was a real difference maker for that starting lineup. 3-and-D, 2 guards, going to Orlando. He's going to be pretty huge for him. He's going to be a mentor, a leader, and somebody that they could definitely need in that starting lineup. This is big news for me. The Hornets waived Chris Paul, and the Spurs picked him up. They signed him on a 1-year, $11 million deal. So Chris Paul is now San Antonio Spurs. And 12-year-old Justin would be screaming, loving life. And 22-year-old Justin didn't scream, but is loving life. I love Chris Paul. I'm a big fan of Chris Paul. He's probably my favorite point guard ever. And now he's a San Antonio Spurs. He's going to be playing with Wemby. He's going to be a mentor to Stephon Castle. Chris Paul helped mentor Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in Oklahoma City, and he turned that team that was projected to not even make the playoffs, took him to the play-in game. I'm very excited about this. I know he's like 38, 39 years old. I don't really care. I love Chris Paul. If he wants to retire San Antonio Spurs, we can make that happen. James Harden signed a 2-year, $70 million deal. He's going back to LA. So Harden and Kawhi Leonard will definitely be back in LA next season. Drew Eubanks goes to the Jazz. Luka Garza goes back to the Wolves. Isaiah Joe goes to the Thunder. This is a very, very good deal. Both of these deals right here. The Thunder had a very good offseason. You traded for Alex Caruso. You drafted nothing but boomer bust guys that you really didn't really need. But if they do hit, it's only going to make your team much better. You extend your important role players like Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe, keeping both of these productive guys in Oklahoma City. This team is very familiar with itself. It's going to be a very good team next year. I think Oklahoma City's got some Western Conference Finals type of run in them. Aaron Holiday's going. He's staying in Houston. D'Anthony Melton's going to the Warriors. I had predicted this in 2K. I like this fit a lot. Jalen Smith is going to the Bulls. I was wanting one of these young big men to go to the Bulls, like him or James Wiseman. Ended up being Jalen Smith, so maybe he'll work something out in Chicago and he gets his confidence going or something. Milwaukee added DeLon Wright. Good point of attack defender, I guess. They need more of those. The Bucks are just so limited with what they're able to do because of the stipulations they have with some of their guys making a lot of money on the roster, like Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Clippers brought back Nicholas Batum. I was hoping he would go to either the Celtics or the Spurs, but he ends up going to LA. So, yeah. Garrett Temple is staying. That's interesting. Wow, I didn't even catch this. That's way to go for Garrett Temple getting another year. Goga Bitadze is going back to the Magic. Pretty good get. I like his game a lot. Chris Dunn's going to the Clippers. Gary Harris is going to the Magic again. He was a really good shooter for him in the playoffs. Probably backup 2 at this point. Mo Bamba is going to the Clippers. I'm always going to be a big fan of Mo Bamba. I really like this fit, honestly, because he's able to be a backup big to Vika Zubac. I like that a lot. This is a big one that happened on Monday. Isaiah Hartenstein left New York to go to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So now Isaiah Hartenstein will probably be the backup big for him. 3 years, $87 million deal. I don't see Chet and him playing in the same lineup together. I think Hartenstein's going to be the backup big. I'd be very surprised if you move Chet to the bench. But this is a good get for him. Detroit brought back Tobias Harris. They needed veterans over there, like impactful veterans. I believe Tobias Harris can be one of those guys. Hopefully he's able to mentor Cade and them boys. Paul George, this was the biggest news. Paul George ended up signing with Philadelphia. And Philadelphia also retained Tyrese Maxey on a $204 million deal. So Philly's looking like a really good team next year. And then this was also big news. The Mavericks ended up going and getting Klay Thompson. So, yeah, Klay Thompson's no longer Golden State Warriors. There was rumors of Klay Thompson joining the Lakers or the Mavericks. He ended up going with the Mavericks for cheaper, which was pretty interesting to see. This all happened Tuesday, July 2nd, Tuesday, July 3rd. Okay, NBA. But yeah, James Wiseman ends up going to the Pacers, just further solidifies their big man depth. Magic are able to keep Mo Wagner. So now they got Mo Wagner back on the roster. They have Goga Bitadze, and they also have Wendell Carter Jr. So they're really keeping the same pieces together. And, it's pretty important to keep Mo Wagner, especially because he's a bigger brother of Franz Wagner. And he had a really good year. So I like that he's returning to Orlando. The Celtics are bringing back Xavier Tillman. He was, he got some minutes in the playoffs. Kyle Anderson is joining the Warriors. What was hoping he would join the Spurs, but I guess not. Damian Lee is going back to the Suns, and the Lakers are re-signing LeBron. So that's all the free agency news that have happened up until this point. We are still waiting to hear from like further trades being solidified. What's going on with Zach LaVine? What's going on with DeMar DeRozan? Those are the two biggest names. Lauri Markkanen is also a name to keep an eye on. If he's not traded by tomorrow, then I don't think he's going to be traded. Cam Johnson is another name. Lots of other names to keep an eye on. Like, I know for Lauri Markkanen, the two most, the biggest teams in the market for him are the Spurs and the Warriors. And because the Warriors haven't been striking on anybody this free agency, they're going to be looking to hit him pretty hard and be ambitious to make like one final competitive run with Curry on the roster. Just some exciting stuff to keep an eye on. I will make a later video, probably on Friday. Just, if any other free agency stuff happens, I'll keep you on the loop. Be sure to follow me on my socials. I'll link them down right now so y'all can see them on the screen. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. I'm pretty active on Twitter. Yeah. If y'all have anything y'all want me to talk about, y'all be sure to shoot me a DM or something like that, and we can get something going. I'll try to bring a guest on next episode and try not to talk only basketball because the Olympics are right around the corner. The qualifiers have been going on. It's been pretty exciting to watch. I'm definitely looking forward to USA basketball and France basketball. Low-key, I'm rooting for France. I'm a huge fan of Wemby. I love what the Spurs are about to do this year, and I have big expectations for them. So, yeah. That's going to be it for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. This was NBA Free Agency and the 2024 NBA Draft results. It's just Chute signing off. Y'all be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, y'all have a good one. Enjoy your 4th of July. Y'all stay safe, and I'll see y'all soon.